Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Hank Stolz Experience here on TV3. I'm Zip Zipfel, filling in for Hank, who's on some kind of a special assignment. Not really sure what it is, but in his absence, visiting today with Jeannie, a couple of guests, actually be 2 or 3 guests. Jeannie Hebert, who is the president of the Blackstone Valley Chamber of Commerce, and also Danielle Desrosiers, did I get that right? Desrosiers of the Green Plate Café, and they're taking part in, of course, the 20th anniversary of the Blackstone Valley Home and Business Expo, which is coming up in short order. Ladies, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Saturday, March 3rd, 10 to 2. It's at the Northbridge High School Fieldhouse, which is the largest facility in the valley that can hold us. It's really fun. It's home and business, so it's B2B and C2B, which is great. Danielle has been involved with the chamber for many years now. I don't even know how many,
I can't even count anymore.
I know. But we've had wonderful interaction with her for over 2 years. We've been working with her to help her with her business and to start a business. And she started a great business called the Green Plate Café. It just opened on Church Street in Whitinsville. Why don't you tell us about it, because it's so unique and the food is so yummy.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I've been working on it for about 3 years, and working with Jeannie, actually, and she's been so helpful. And
we have the mutual admiration.
We do. But Danielle has really worked the chamber for all of the benefits that we offer, and it's great to see someone utilize what we have to offer for the benefit of starting a business, and you really have. You've been very successful.
Well, it's exciting for me because working with the chamber on all of the events, including the expo for many years, and running the chowder contest, it's actually going to be exciting to compete in it this year.
So tell us a bit about the menu at the Green Plate. What's unique about your place?
My goal has always been to kind of help people understand that it's not changing what you're eating, it's the ingredients that go into the foods that you eat. So we've actually created our menu to be 100% gluten-free. We offer organic meats, and we always have vegan and vegetarian options as well. So we kind of touch upon everybody's tastes and their choice in diet, and also really catering to people that have dietary restrictions. So we're able to touch upon all of those things and keeping it in similarity to what you would typically eat anyway. One of our most popular items is actually our shepherd's pie. And I just make it healthier and flavorful. And that, I think, is really important when you think about eating healthy. A lot of people connect that with it doesn't taste right, or it tastes like cardboard or whatnot. And so that's something I've really strived to change that mindset of people and try to just make things as flavorful as possible.
That's great. So it's kind of like healthy comfort food.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And you've had some, you absolutely love it.
Yeah. You bring it home like 3-4 nights a week.
Because she also works within people's lifestyle. Like you and I, we're not unique. People are working all the time. You can actually get on her hot deals email list, and you can find out what she's cooking that day. You can order it. She'll make it for you. You can pick it up. You can go there for lunch. But she also has prepared foods that are in the freezer case. You can buy that. I have some in our freezer now, so if you're late getting home, you've got something great to cook, so it's terrific. So what better person, segue into the expo, the Chowder Festival. She's going to be making a healthy clam chowder. You catered it for us for our Christmas Eve celebration. And it's made with what, coconut milk?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good. You can't even tell that it's not cow's milk. It's great. So we've got 6 restaurants that are participating.
Right, I see them here. The Green Plate, Whittier Farms, Grafton Job Corps Culinary Arts, Lydia Taft House Culinary, and brought to you by the Home Field Credit Union. And the defending champs, Galliford's Restaurant at Southwick Zoo and Hunter's Tavern at the Grafton Inn. So you've got a pretty heavy complement of players.
We do, and the chowders are unbelievable. And we have celebrity guests that will be judging on the People's Choice, because we have on the judged, and then we have People's Choice. So we have 2 categories. And I know one of the judges this year is going to be one of our very special guests that will be there is Jose Antonio Rivera.
Great.
And he's going to be working with Brian Daniels, a boxing coach in Worcester. And we're going to be working on introducing a boxing program for some of the underprivileged kids at the Rockdale Youth Center this year. So we're going to try to set up a ring, and that'll be fun. It's a 3-ring circus anyway at the expo. We have Iron Shoe Petting Zoo, which is comprised of rescued farm animals, and that's always a great treat. We have Whittier Farms usually brings the baby calf that was born the closest to the date, and there's a contest to name the baby calf. And so there's so many things going on. Bobo the Clown is there.
Freddie the fire truck.
Freddie the talking
truck.
fire truck is going to be there. And of course, this is all presented by Unibank, our presenting sponsor, which has always been a great supporter of ours. And we're going to be recognizing some of the businesses that have been with us for 20 years, like Gaudet Insurance is one of them. Koopman's Lumber, who has 4 booths and hands out buckets every year. People line up to get their Koopman's bucket.
They run out quick.
Yeah, they run out quick. So it's really a lot of fun. It's for the entire family. Dog Orphans is there with some of their dogs that they have up for adoption. Not that I have anything to do with the animal portion of it. We have WCRN will be broadcasting live there. We have a DJ there that day. Harry Berkowitz will be there with WCRN. And just so much going on. It's amazing. JetBlue is going to also be there this year. We'll be talking about the flights to New York City, which is very exciting. They're introducing at Worcester Airport. So we've got a lot of really terrific partners working with us this year.
Now, you've been doing this 20 years.
Yeah.
What's the key?
I haven't. I've been doing it 10 years, but 20 years.
What's the key to getting really great community involvement? What do you think it is?
Well, you know, I think our region is so diverse that it's not just a business-to-business expo, because a lot of chambers are not doing expos anymore. They kind of fizzled out. They've reached the end of their cycle. But I've even had chambers from like Vermont to ask us for our template, because we kind of fall into that category. We have businesses, but we're rural as well. And it's not just for the businesses themselves, it's for the customers, which is very important. We have service people like Husbands for Hire who tell us that they sign more business at this expo than any other show that they do throughout the year. And Dr. Mike Spratt of Seeds of Hope Chiropractic, he got 7 new patients just from being there and showing what he does, because he has a unique kind of practice.
And once again, the date?
The date is Saturday, March 3rd, 10 to 2 at the Northbridge High School Fieldhouse. You see Danielle and 5 other restaurants will be there. Lots going on. We even have a canine demonstration with the Uxbridge canines. So it's lots of fun. Family karate is there. There'll be dance groups.
Right.
The Mat Monsters. So lots happening.
Okay. Jeannie, thanks so much. We'll talk with you in the second segment
Okay.
as well. And Danielle, continued success with the Green Plate. Look forward to seeing you at
Thank you so much. I
the
appreciate
BV
it.
Business Expo. We'll be back with more here on the Hank Stolz Experience in just a minute.
Welcome to We Hear You, our public service announcement. Today I would like to focus on some winter safety tips for seniors. Check in on elderly family and neighbors. Offer to drive if someone must get out. Clear walkways and handrails of any snow and ice. Plan ahead for any emergency power needs for medical equipment. Check supplies of food and emergency items. Check to make sure the space heaters are being used properly. Thanks for joining us for our We Hear You public service announcement.
Just like in baseball, good sports reporting relies on the bullpen. There are days when our front man just doesn't have his stuff anymore.
What is he doing? This is brutal.
I think it's Grafton. It could be Bartlett. It's a green and white team.
You don't have it tonight. You're done.
Son of a bitch. I f***ing have it. Tell me I don't
I can still bring it.
Yes, time. All right, that's actually Bartlett versus Milbury, and it's Todd Duchesne from Milbury.
I'm just glad I can be a role guy here.
Hi, I'm Dale LePage.
And I'm Jennifer Ankowiak from Charter TV3's entertainment show, WooTube.
Be sure to tune into WooTube every month for local music and comedy videos.
Interviews with local venue owners and upcoming events in your area.
It's your music and your comedy videos, all the events you want to attend, and all the places you want to be. WooTube.
Local news from Central Massachusetts for Central Massachusetts.
A Webster man is arrested after police say he stole numerous manhole covers. At least 8 cars caught fire tonight at a parking garage. If you hear the same noise in the future, the town says you should evacuate the area.
Reporters in the field. And an in-depth local forecast. Worcester News tonight on Charter TV3.
Welcome back to the Hank Stolz Experience here on Charter TV3. I'm Zip Zipfel sitting in for Hank, who's on special assignment. And this program, we're sort of focusing in on the Blackstone Valley. We've got Jeannie Hebert, the president of the Blackstone Valley Chamber of Commerce. And joining us for this segment is Craig Maxim, who is the Division Director of Family Continuity, the Whitinsville branch serving the Blackstone Valley region. And Jeannie and Craig, I know you've worked with Craig quite a bit. Tell us a bit about his organization and how he plays into helping the homeless in Blackstone Valley.
Well, he does much more than that, but I'll let him get into that. But one of the projects we're working on right now, as you know, Chamber of Commerce, we try to keep our community vital because that keeps the businesses healthy too. And a big part of the community is keeping it healthy and working with underprivileged segments. And one segment that is not talked too much about or really even comes to top of mind is homelessness in the Blackstone Valley. I actually had people come to me and say, there are homeless people in the Blackstone Valley? The beautiful Blackstone Valley? Where are they? But they're, kind of the silent minority here. I had one woman call me that worked at one of the prominent businesses that said once the trees dropped their leaves, she saw a couple living in a tent in her backyard that she had no idea was there. And there's lots of stories like that. And Family Continuity is a wonderful organization that works with not just the homeless community, but other portions of the community that need help. They can help give them a leg up or connect them to someone that can help them. So Craig, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's going on and we can get into the forum that we just had.
Sure. Family Continuity is, we have an office based in Whitinsville, a number of offices throughout Eastern and Central Mass, but it's a social service and mental health agency. So we provide outpatient mental health services, we provide school-based services. We have a lot of partnerships with a lot of the schools within the Blackstone Valley, providing therapists in-house in the schools. I think there's probably 14 different schools that we're in within the Blackstone Valley. So we provide an array of services, including outpatient mental health services, in-home therapy, outreach programs, and recently we just were licensed as from the Bureau of Substance Abuse Services, now it's Substance Addiction Services, to provide outpatient services and group services. One of our newer programs that we just started, which is a grant through the Community Health Network area out of Milford Regional Hospital, was a grant working with our local police departments for encounters that the police have with those that are suffering with substance use issues or mental health issues, a direct referral line. The police are sort of able to, be of assistance and help and give some information to folks about where to get services and how to connect them. And we can respond within one business day in terms of working with folks that are coming in contact with the police for those purposes. And that's how we sort of got involved with the homeless situation. Unbeknownst to me, as a person that working and living in the Blackstone Valley, was unaware, but the fact that the number of calls that the police were getting and referring to us that were folks that were homeless.
Now, when you use the term homeless, you often think of somebody, under an underpass, or there's there's a whole different mentality and a different perspective on homelessness now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
There was one story we had from the school superintendent in Northbridge that she got a call from the principal at one of the elementary schools that they had a hysterical child that wouldn't get on the bus because he didn't know where mommy parked the car where they were going to sleep that night.
Wow.
So, and then there was another family that was found to be living in those clothes drop-off dumpsters, for lack of a better word, that were pushing the clothes out of the way and lighting a candle. They were living in there at night at the Salvation Army, and those kids were going to school every day. So there's many, many layers to homelessness. And these are people that the kids are in school every day, you see their parents, but they're ashamed to mention that they're homeless or to seek out help because they've fallen on hard times. And these are the people that we need to reach out to.
And I think the panel, what we did as we realized that homelessness was a larger issue within the Valley, we decided, there's a lot of, what we found out is a lot of people working in the Valley, the faith community, a number of organizations that are working with folks, but the fact was they weren't necessarily talking to each other. Right. Everyone was doing really good work, and some work was, sometimes we might even be enabling folks without not even realizing it. And the fact is, I think if they all got together and sort of worked together, that there might be a better solution than what's been happening, and they could really work together versus working in silos. So that's where the idea of the forum came up. We had a great panel for the forum last week which really talked about the different viewpoints and the different perspectives of homelessness, that it's not just the person living under the underpass, which is some of the folks that we do have within the Valley, but it's also someone that's going from couch to couch, from home to home, a mother and child, a couple, and even we had the story of an 83-year-old man that was living, had no place to go and was staying on his granddaughter's couch. So it's like the view of homelessness in that perspective is very different, and the definitions of homelessness are different, and sometimes those definitions can be a barrier to even accessing services.
Has the problems with opiates contributed to this?
Well, like I said, our initial program was really working with the police department for mental health and substance use calls that they come into encounter. So the opiate piece is a part of it. It's not the only part of it. So I think in really working, we have our recovery coach and an outreach worker that, again, once we have a referral from the police department, are really out there trying to engage folks to sort of help them and assist them in getting to the services that they need, whether it be substance use services, medication-assisted treatment, or other kinds of therapy, or even detox. We now have a drop-in that's every Wednesday night that people can sort of come in, and if they need to feel, the need for psychiatric care, for therapy, or to be connected with a detox, so they can go right into a detox. We have a recovery coach that's there working with them, who's worked, basically has been in recovery for a significant amount of time and knows how to work this, be able to get somebody into detox.
I was going to ask too, why are people reticent about contacting organizations like yours for help? Do they need to be insured, or is it a thing where they can just, basically call for help?
I mean, I think what we do with the Blackstone Valley Connector, and there's also a resource center that's there that's run really by our students and our volunteers, because a lot of the work that we do is either through a state contract or third-party reimbursement through insurance. So that does become a barrier at times, whereas something like our Blackstone Valley Connector, it's blind to insurance, it's blind to payer. It's really under a grant right now in terms of being able to provide that service free of charge for folks that that the police have come in contact with, for sure.
Right, and if somebody's in an acute state, a real state of emergency, that they get medical help regardless.
Right, correct, and that's usually through one of the local hospitals or emergency response teams and so forth.
So how would somebody contact your organization? What would be the best way for them?
Well, we do have, familycontinuity.org is a sort of a www.familycontinuity.org. I'm not used to saying that.
It's okay.
and our number in Whitinsville is 508-234-4181, and a direct call to the office, and we have folks there that would be answering the phone intake, that would take down all the information that they need in terms of sort of finding out the services that they need, whether it be outpatient care or some other services within the school systems.
And are you actively looking for volunteers ever? Or?
We are always looking for volunteers, that sort of for the Blackstone Valley Connector, but especially for the shelter right now. There's an Blackstone Valley emergency shelter that's run by basically the faith community, and they sort of have different churches that are working that, and they really do need volunteers to sort of help man those in the evenings.
Great. Craig, thanks.
The good thing is that Craig brought us all together. We had all of our legislators, including Congressman McGovern and District Attorney Early, and we're all working together and not separately, so to try to come up with a solution. So.
Craig, thanks so much for spending time with us here on the Hank Stolz Experience, and continued success with the great work you're doing in the Blackstone Valley.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
We'll continue more with Jeannie Hebert and talk more about the great things happening in the Blackstone Valley when the Hank Stolz Experience continues in a couple of minutes here on Charter TV 3. Stay with us.
You can't get Worcester weather from a Boston TV station. The sun could be shining in downtown Boston, but the weather could be very different here in Worcester. People tell me all the time how much they count on our weather forecast, and we know how important that is to our Worcester News Tonight viewers. Each weekday, we'll give you your weather, your 10-day forecast for right here in Worcester, only on Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester's only local forecast, weeknights on Worcester News Tonight.
Join Brad Kane from the Worcester Business Journal every Monday evening during Worcester News Tonight at 10 p.m. on Charter TV3 for the Worcester Business Journal's Central Mass Business Report. Catch all the latest business news that impacts your bottom line.
I'm Lisa Condit from the Hanover Theater. Join me every Thursday during Worcester News Tonight at 10 p.m. for the Hanover Theater This Week. Discover the magic of Broadway, music, and more at one of the world's top theaters, the Hanover Theater, right here in Worcester.
I absolutely loved every minute of playing high school sports and just the feeling of going into the locker room before a game and how cool it was coming out and the whole town's all around the field cheering, and it's just such a special feeling.
Played basketball and golf at Auburn High. I was the captain of both teams my senior year. For me, I learned a lot because I played high school sports when I was at Auburn High School.
I started back in March of 1997, and it was a lot different then. I was the only person in sports. We were shooting on VHS tapes.
I started in December of 2000. I was the assignment desk editor and the Health Watch reporter. I was also always a sports guy. You get paid to do things that you love to do, and for us, that's being on a ball field or a basketball court or just being around sports.
Our enthusiasm, I think, for sports is contagious, and everyone gets swept up in it. It shows in, I think, in our overall product in our sports, that everyone cares.
House is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be.
Welcome back to the Hank Stolz Experience here on Charter TV3. Zip Zipfel sitting in for, I'm not sure if he's vacationing or he's on special assignment, but Hank returns to the program in short order. But in his absence, we're kind of spending some time this afternoon or today talking about the Blackstone Valley, in particular with the president and CEO of the Blackstone Valley Chamber of Commerce, Jeannie Hebert, along with her special guest, Mark Lyons, a technology consultant and with AET Labs, to talk a bit about the education hub there at the BVCC. Tell us a bit about it and introduce your guest for us.
Well, Mark is a godsend. He showed up on my doorstep one day, and he's a gift from God to help us out, because we were fortunate enough to receive from the Department of Higher Ed a capital skills grant of $456,312 to build out a workforce training area, classrooms and fabrication lab, a fab lab. And we have 3 great partners in this that are going to help us with the curriculums: Quinsigamond Community College, Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology, and Worcester State University. But I run a Chamber of Commerce, so I need people in the business to advise me on how to do it. We're utilizing the services of Blackstone Valley Tech for the build-out. We're working with their students for everything from the drafting department right to the electrical and the construction, which is great.
And this is all at the Linwood Mill,
this
where
is at the Linwood Mill,
located.
right where the chamber is located. So the chamber will be the administrator of this school, and in giving the tour to the new president of Quinsig, Louis Pedraja, he gave me the idea to name it the Blackstone Valley Education Hub, and I think that's great, because since that time we started working with the schools in the area. We're hoping to get some dual enrollment programs going with Quinsig, which they've started, but maybe we can enhance them. We've gotten some innovative pathways grants for them, so we're going to be working together, and we introduced Mark to the schools too. So Mark's been involved with some of the other ones, so maybe I should let you talk a little bit about how this is going to all come together and what we should be doing, and then we can chime in about the students we're trying to help.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So what I do is I work with schools, and primarily in advanced manufacturing and the fab lab type of things. I noticed that Jeannie had won a grant. I called her up, and this is a fantastic program. I think I'm big into vocational technical education. I was a teacher 15 years in Massachusetts, and what I see is that the vocational technical schools in Massachusetts are actually becoming so successful that students aren't getting in anymore. And what happens to those students that if they want to get into the local, say, Blackstone Valley Tech, and they don't get in, what are they going to do if they're not on a college track? They need to get some skills. And what Jeannie put together at this with the Chamber of Commerce is fantastic, because the students in the local area can actually get some hands-on skills in the manufacturing and engineering programs.
You know, back in the day, and this is many years ago myself, there used to be the college-bound students and the vocationally oriented students. It's totally different these days.
It's very interesting. You know, 20 years ago, if you went to the Voc, you know, you were considered, you know, maybe not the smartest bulb in the tree, but today that's different. I work with, especially the technical schools. That's my sweet spot. I'm in all of them. The graduation rate, when the students are graduating, they're now going on to college at about 80% out of these vocational technical schools. Now, what we really want is these students to go out into the workforce. You know, Massachusetts got GE to come to the headquarters in Massachusetts. We're on the short list for Amazon, right? They need workers, and they're going to need the laborers, and we got to get those kids out there so they can take these jobs.
Well, and also the advanced manufacturing moniker is kind of, people go, oh, manufacturing, I'm on an assembly line, blah, blah, blah. This is high-end, computer-based design.
It really is. It's a great career. It's a viable career. You can make some really good money in this. And I actually was with the Lieutenant Governor this morning. We were talking about it. They're kind of using our program as a template, because we also partner with our Education Foundation, which is very unique in putting all of these programs together. The manufacturers are actually coming to us. We had one large manufacturer in Uxbridge call the Chamber, and they want to donate some machinery so that we can train their workforce. We talked today just about Amazon and what happens if we get Amazon, because we just don't have the workforce. So we've got to train the workforce. Just in the Blackstone Valley, there's 650 students that are on a wait list to BB Tech. There's 3,500 students across the state that are unable to gain entrance into vocational training. And these are the students that basically didn't make the cut, so they're the ones that want to go right to work. They right now don't think they want to go to school. So the good thing about the program that we're working with, especially the QCC program, is that this, even if it's a certificate program and the student doesn't want to get their degree right now, they can utilize, they'll get a credit. So they might get into the workforce and maybe a year down the road go, well, maybe I should get my associates. And they can use that credit towards that. But in the meantime, we're fulfilling the covenant of getting a workforce going. But if we get Amazon, we might have a problem. We might not have the workers to fulfill those spots.
Well, I'm going to say we will. How's that?
I know.
You know, I think a big part of it too is, like, you know, compared to the traditional college education, now people work online from home, they attend school from home, they work at all hours, they work third shift and still get degrees and certificates. So it all works out great. And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you as far as...
Talk to Jeannie.
Okay.
We have a website, aetlabs.com. You can go on there.
Right.
I actually just work with schools in eastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island. But we cover all of New England. But yeah, that's how you get a hold of me. I only work with schools. So if a business wants to, I can help them, but I wouldn't be able to have them purchase any equipment from me or anything like that. But I do a lot of counseling.
Great.
But we're working very hard to put the program together, get it started. We're hoping to be going in the fall. The architects are already working, and the build-out should be starting soon. So we're really excited to get this started at the Linwood Mill.
Well, as always, there sounds like there's plenty going on, and you're spearheading a lot of the forward progress there in the Blackstone Valley. Mark Lyons, thanks so much for being with us. Jeannie Hebert, from the president and CEO of the Blackstone Valley Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for being with us here on the Hank Stolz Experience. We'll see you the next time around. And as well with you, thanks for watching here on Charter TV 3. All right.
In the middle of our streets, our house. In the middle of our house. In the middle of our streets, our house. He tells you that you've got to move in the middle of our father gets up late for work. Mother has to iron his shirt. Then she sends the kids to school. Sees them off with a small kiss. She's the one they're going to miss.